Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, and good morning, depending on where it is you're viewing from today. Welcome to GT Champions. This is your Monday evening broadcast. I am your host for the evening, Tim Gray, Ghost Terror 45, now Ghost 45 on screen. And this is presented tonight by RWB Racing and sponsored by Detailing Group Incorporated. Other sponsors and notable mentions as well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, are Metropolis, High Pre, and Pride of the Dragon. So, welcome everybody. This is round 7 of our GT Champions World Cup Season 3, and it is at Red Bull Ring for the GTC-4 division today. So, this race was ran on February 26th, and we are broadcasting it today because I race in the division, so I'm unable to race and broadcast at the same time. So, now we get to bring you guys the broadcast a couple days later. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let us jump over to our lobby. Alright, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, like I said just a second ago, we are at Red Bull Ring today, and we're just going to do a quick little check to make sure you guys can hear everything properly. Everything is looking good so far. Fantastic stuff. Alright. So, we are at Red Bull Ring. We're in Austria today, ladies and gentlemen. So, the drivers have packed up their crews, their cars. They've loaded up their planes. They've flown over to Austria. They've unloaded the gear. They've got it all on track. They've tested. They've tuned. And here we are, ready for race time. So, this will be a 90-minute endurance race, ladies and gentlemen. So there are some rules, of course, and some stuff that the drivers need to do throughout the race, and we're going to go over that with you here right now. So the car choice for this week is a one-make only race, and it is the Bugatti Veyron Group 4 car. Very, very luxurious cars for the drivers here today, as they have them all loaded up on the grid here. And again, we are at Red Bull Ring. Now, the tires required for the series, ladies and gentlemen, are racing soft tires and racing medium tires. The drivers are required to use one of each compound throughout the race, but they can't just stop and grab those tires whenever they choose. They do have to pit within a certain amount of time, and we're going to go over that for you guys in just a second. So, there is 2 times tire wear in the race today, and it is ×2 fuel consumption as well. So, going to be interesting to see how this race plays out, as the Veyrons are quite torquey, horsepower-filled, big, heavy cars today. So, are tires going to factor in? Is fuel going to factor in? Maybe a little bit of both, maybe none. We'll have to wait and find out. Alright, so the pit window, ladies and gentlemen, is from the 50-minute remaining mark until the 40-minute remaining mark of the race. So the drivers will have 10 minutes to jump into the pits, grab the other tire compound that they haven't used yet, fill up their fuel tanks, repair any damage if necessary, you have a drink, and get ready for the last second stint. So, that is the only time that the drivers are allowed to pit for fuel and tires, is within that 10-minute pit window. If any driver comes out of the pit lane after 40 minutes remaining in the race, so at 39 minutes 59 seconds, if they aren't out of the pits, then they will receive a 1-minute penalty for each whether it be tires or fuel that they take in the pits. So if they've taken tire and fuels and don't get out of the pits before the end of the pit window, they'll actually receive a 2-minute penalty, which is a very, very large penalty, ladies and gentlemen. Also, with that being said, the drivers are, however, allowed to pit to fix damage. So at any time throughout the race, if a driver picks up damage and feels that the car is too much, they're allowed to pit outside of the pit window to repair the damage on the race car only. They're not allowed to take fuel, they're not allowed to take tires, but they are allowed to repair their cars. As long as they don't take fuel and tires, they're good. But again, if they take fuel or if they take tires or a combination of the two, outside of the pit window, they'll receive an additional penalty by the stewards after the race has concluded. So, let us go quickly through the starting grid here. So we're going to do a little walkthrough with you guys here. Our cameraman again, he's very, very good with the officials on track, as he always seems to manage to get himself on track. So in pole position today, ladies and gentlemen, we do have RR Ghost 45, and he suffered a disconnect in the previous race, so that is why he's on pole today. And just a quick little look at the car there. In second place here, starting P2, pardon me, is Picteca from Hypre, the gentleman who does all the graphics that you guys see on the broadcasts. Just beautiful car right there. He's sitting P2, and in P3 is Walk Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen. It was supposed to be Benjo, as you see on the screen, but Benjo opted to not participate in the race. A little bit before the race, he wasn't feeling the greatest, and just felt like his head wasn't in the right place to race on Saturday, and decided to pull the car off the track for the day. So hopefully he's feeling better, and Walk will take his spot in third place. So all the drivers move up a position basically at this point now, if you're following along on screen. So our fourth place driver, which would be fifth normally, is Noam. And you can see Noam here showing his support for Ukraine with the blue and white livery here. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of that as the series progresses as well. Then we have Icer's Marchie Boy starting in fifth place, and really great livery here. And the Icer team has 3 drivers in the division here, as you can see. The next one here in 7th place with Icer Energia, and second race of the season, so new driver to the series and division here this season. And sitting right behind or beside his teammate there in 6th place. And then we move back into the field here, and we have Devin Calypso, and we see Calypso is now in an Icer livery here as well. So maybe he has joined the Icer team. We're not 100% sure on that. We'll have to verify. But sitting in P7 just behind, apparently, his 2 teammates. So a little bit of an interesting thing there with 3 racing team members all right there with each other. And then moving down the grid, we have Stangman here. For some reason, I think that's wrong. Right, it is wrong, because Stangman opted to give his position up on the grid to go to the back of the pack. That was his... per his request, as he was extremely concerned about starting in the position he was starting in for some reason, so he opted to start in the back of the pack. So actually, pardon me guys, Toolshed is taking Stangman's position there as well, so that we have Toolshed here. And again, Toolshed is currently sitting 3rd overall in the standings. Beside him we have Formula One, ladies and gentlemen. You can see some Ukraine support decals on the car from Formula One here as well. Great looking livery, ladies and gentlemen. And then we have Average Viper, who's currently sitting 2nd overall in the standings, coming into the round today with that other Hypre car right here. So he's further back on the grid, and we'll explain why in a second. And then we have our current standings leader, Spider Team 1, ladies and gentlemen, representing RWB Racing here, and has been very, very strong so far this season. So he is starting at the back of the pack here as well. He would be the last back of the pack driver that placed a time last race. And then we have behind him BA Dubs, who did not make the race last week due to not feeling well himself, so he gets put in the back of the pack by default. And then we have behind him here, as we see, is Stangman, who opted to go to the back of the grid due to concerns for the start of the race. So that is our grid order. Let's get our cameraman up off this track here before we get ourselves into any trouble, as again, the Gran Turismo officials here in Austria have been absolutely fantastic to allow us to get the cameraman onto the track, give you guys these great livery shots as we're doing our introductions to the drivers here. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's race time. So I hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody's grabbed their favorite cool or warm beverage. I hope you're snuggled up beside your loved ones and ready for a fantastic race here in GTC-4 division at Red Bull Ring. So let us switch over to the screen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so you can see Hypre ad up in the top part of the screen right there. Again, Hypre doing all the graphics for GT Champions here on the broadcast. Everything looks fantastic. We're just going to remove that for you guys so we can give you as much of the beginning of the race as possible. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to racing. Thank you, Spider Team. Much love, brother. Much love. Alright, so we are waiting for them lights to go. Oh, and apparently they're gone. We cannot see them because of the angle. So we are off, and Ghost in P1 off. Picteca in P2 with Walk in P3. You see the Icer Boys. Noam splitting the Icer Boys with Viper on the inside. Who is going to get the job done here? The audio is really quiet. Let us fix that. There you guys go. That's much better. So Ghost just managed to keep P1 there. Picteca gets a really good run on the corner 1 there. So he is going to try and see if he can get around Ghost here in turn 1, walk right behind, and then we have Viper moving up dramatically in the field. See them back in P4 there, and then we see one of the Icer drivers up in P5 as we're coming through the corner, and we still have a fight for the battle right at the beginning of the race, ladies and gentlemen, with Picteca and Ghost side by side after turn 3 here, and still battling to see who is going to take the race lead here on lap 1. So let's just rip through really quick here and see what else we have brewing, as the rest of the drivers have kind of filtered in line. And Ghost and Picteca, they're not giving an inch. Both these drivers want P1 very early on in this race here, and still side by side as we're now halfway around the Red Bull ring here. Ghost getting a little bit loose there, so that's going to give Picteca a little bit of a run into the corner here. Also the inside line. So Picteca is finally going to move into the race lead, ladies and gentlemen, with Ghost settling in P2. We have Walk Motorsports under pressure from what looks to be Average Viper here. A little bit of contact between the two drivers. Both drivers okay there, managing to make the corner. Robbins is racing, it's going to happen sometimes. And these drivers are battling, so great battle here for P1, P2, 3, and 4. As now we see Viper and Walks going side by side coming into turn 9 here. Now turn 10, Walks is just going to pull ahead of Viper. So really great job by the drivers early on in the race. So far from what we can see, everything is kept fairly clean. Spider team is a little bit back here. Maybe just playing it safe. So back up to our race lead here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Coming around turn 1. Picteca going really wide there. Maybe he's going to pick up a penalty for that. We'll have to wait and see. But Ghost and Picteca still side by side battling for P1 as we're now into lap 2, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll get you guys some race information on the screen here shortly. Just give me one moment. We don't want to miss what's going to happen here for this little battle. So Ghost on the inside. Is he going to... Ooh, Picteca coming in for a cutback. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Ghost spinning. Both drivers kind of getting stuck on track there. And both drivers back off to the races. So now we do have P1 position change. Walk Motorsports has moved up into P1 now, ladies and gentlemen, with that little bit of contact between Picteca and Ghost as they were battling hard for P1 there. Coming out of corner 3, Ghost looking like he's trying to get inside of Picteca behind here. Let's get back with that quickly. He does get ahead of Picteca in 3rd place, so let's get through the field here quick. Well, we have a second. Holy moly, some great racing action here. So, I'm not sure what happened there. Walk making a mistake, perhaps slowing down on track. And Viper now maintaining race lead. Ghost going around 2nd place. We have Picteca now moving up into 3rd. So Walk Motorsports having some form of issue there we just missed. And slowing down on track and losing 3 positions, potentially 4 positions. Let's go see what's happening here in behind Walk as we have Energia now battling for that position. But he's also battling his teammate Marchie Boy here. So we have 2 of the Icer guys side by side kind of battling for position. Very early on in the race here. The guys are definitely trying to sort the pace out at this point. And then we have Formula 1 just behind the 2 Icer drivers. BA Dubs here sitting in currently in 8th. We have Toolshed coming into pit lane. So Toolshed has some damage here, obviously, coming into pit lane. And then we have Noam in 12th place. And Stangman a little ways back here at the moment as well. So while everything is sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, let me get the good stuff up for you. There you go. All right. So Average Viper currently in the lead very early on in the race here. Taking very, very great advantage of some mistakes by the drivers ahead of him. As we see, he started way back in 11th place on the grid and up in P1 by lap 3, ladies and gentlemen. So Viper having a great race start here and leading this race early on. So with that being said, starting to pull a little bit of a gap on the drivers. Picteca now has moved up into 2nd place, back ahead of Ghost here. So Team Hyperi looking very, very strong early on in the race, holding 1 and 2 down with Rockefeller Racing's Ghost in behind in 3rd. We have Walk Motorsport in 4th place, and then we have 2 Icer drivers sitting in 5th and 6th in Energia and Marchie Boy. And now we can see the drivers starting to calm down a little bit. Everybody's starting to file in, start to kind of get back into those slipstreams, catch up to each other here again. Formula 1 in 7th place, Dub sitting in 8th. We have Devin Calypso a little bit behind in 9th place. Spider Team now up into 10th, having a little bit of a slow start himself as well. Noam in 11th place with some pressure from Toolshed here. So this is kind of the battle we have on track at the moment. So let's stick with this little bit of a development we have here in the back of the pack, because we did see Toolshed had to come into the pits very early on in the race, so he must have had some damage there. So we must have missed something very early on in the race, as we do see a couple drivers a little bit further back. I know I'm going really wide there, ladies and gentlemen. So Toolshed getting a free pass there, moving up into 11th place. So Noam struggling early on in the race, and Stangman not too far behind these guys here. Not 100% sure what happened to him there, as we didn't quite see what happened. Just because there was such a great battle at the front, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't want to see what was going on up front there. So, again, average Viper, ladies and gentlemen. As we said earlier when we were doing our walk up the grid there, he is currently sitting 2nd overall in the standings for the division moving into round 7. And we will bring that up on screen for you guys here in a little bit. So his teammate Picteca is sitting in 2nd place here as well. Not too far behind, but not too close either. So we got Team High Priest sitting P1 and P2, and then we have Ghost sitting in 3rd place here trying to chase them down. So maybe some team orders coming into play here. We have, if he catches you, hold him off for as long as you can. Let me keep getting that gap. Or are these guys just kind of going to race for themselves tonight? We'll have to see how that race progresses. We have Energia now up in 4th place. So Energia has also moved around Walk Motorsports. We're missing all the action. We got to get to the field quicker here. So Walk now down to 5th place with Marchie Boy just behind him, starting to kind of put a little bit of pressure on Walk here. I think we're safe to stick with this for just a second here. So, I mean, all the drivers are still can see each other on the straightaway here. So, I mean, the field is not split up that badly that early on in the race. Margie Boy does take a look inside there, opts just to sit behind and play it safe. Formula One getting a good run out of T1 there just behind these two drivers. So, Formula One looking to grab some slipstream here and catch up to Marchie Boy ahead of him. Dubs looking very solid early on here, sitting in 8th place as well. We've got Calypso, the other Icer car here today, sitting in 9th place with Spider Team starting to close in on him. So we have a couple of little battles happening throughout the field, so we'll try to just keep flowing through the field as quickly as we can, ladies and gentlemen. Well, wheel disconnected at the start of the race, set me back 22 seconds. I was so frustrated. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I guess there could be worse times for that to happen, I suppose, but man, really unfortunate here. But you're looking good so far, brother. You're looking good so far. So Viper with a pretty decent lead here early on in the race. Looking like it's about a 4 to 5 second gap on his teammate Picteca here in 2nd place. We can see 3rd place Ghost starting to close in on Picteca just a little bit, so potentially a battle maybe going to happen there in the future. We have Energia now trying to chase Ghost down in 4th place. Walk in 5th with Marchie Boy still chasing him down, so let's try and stick on board with Marchie Boy. We're keeping our eye on that radar just to see if we see any moves happening here. I think we need to go back to that Spider Team battle here, as I see these cars are getting really close on the radar. So back for 9th place here, as we just seen Spider Team up in chat over in the GT Champions YouTube here, saying that his wheel disconnected at the start of the race, which is why he was so far behind early on in the race, but looking really good here. Now chasing Devin Calypso down for P9 here. So ladies and gentlemen, we are at Red Bull Ring. Red Bull Ring is a relatively short racetrack, and there is definitely time to be made up. And Devin Calypso kind of looked like he just gave the spot to Spider Team there. Spider Team really cut that curb short. Really fortunate not to pick up a penalty there too, actually. So the stewards feel maybe showing the man a little bit of love there, as he had a little bit of a ignition issue very early on in the race there, as he was just stating in chat, ladies and gentlemen. So Toolshed sitting in 11th place now. Again, Toolshed's currently sitting 3rd overall in the standings coming into round 7 here today, so he's going to be looking for a strong showing as well. Got a little bit of ground to make up, but ladies and gentlemen, these are 90-minute races. They're long races. Lots of race left yet here. Anything can happen. It's Red Bull Ring. Penalties are definitely going to factor into this race. And we can see Stangman is just ripping up the straightaway here. He's actually almost caught up to our 12th place driver Noam here as well. So Stangman is looking very strong here, starting to settle into the race himself as well. Spider Team was unstoppable, says Formula One. He always is. He always is. He's done very well this season. He's been very, very good competitor here on and off the track. All right, so Average Viper looking very, very strong here in first place on lap 7 here at Red Bull Ring, and doing a great job trying to just pull away. But as we do see here, Ghost taking a really wide line, a lot of curve. He's going to make a move. He's going to get the move done. He goes inside on Picteca, and we just seen Spider 2 make a very similar move on Calypso just a second ago, and Ghost taking a page right out of Spider Team's book the next lap on the same corner there, and getting that move done on Picteca for P2 position change here. So now Ghost getting in between the two Team Hypre drivers and on the march to see if he can catch Viper in first place. Viper is a little ways up the road, but not, I mean, they can still see first place up there, so lots can happen in this race yet, ladies and gentlemen. And tune in, because it's going to be a good one. We have Icer Energia sitting in 4th place again, coming in late into the season to race here at GT Champions. This is the 2nd race of the season for Energia. Had a very strong showing at St. Claude last week, and looking very, very strong here again today at Red Bull Ring, currently sitting in 4th place. And we see Picteca starting to close back in on Ghost here, so Picteca now trying to interfere a little bit and battle with Ghost to try and give his teammate potentially some time to continue to open that gap up there in P1. So we'll keep our eyes on that. We have Marchie Boy sitting now in 5th place, so Marchie Boy now finding his way around Walk Motorsport as well. So Walk down in the 6th place here, struggling a little bit early on in the race. We have Formula One here now, still doing strong in 7th place. The car looks gorgeous this week too, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolutely gorgeous blue and white scheme he's got going there. We have Dubs in that very, very pink livery, pink-purple livery. He's always supporting cancer and military foundations with his liveries, and he's always showing it. So you can see Dubs giving Spider Team chasing down the right-hand signal light there, telling Spider Team to go ahead and take the inside line in the corner 1 there. So a little bit of communication between the two drivers there. So Dub's just kind of letting Spider Team know, and you know what, if you want the inside line, go ahead and take it. I'll hold it, I'll keep it, or give it to you. And Dub's doing a really good job to hold the outside line there. But Spider Team opting not to make the move there. He's opting to race Dubs for that position, and good on Spider Team there. Lots of respect from all these guys on track amongst each other. And now on the chase to get that position from Dubs, the racer's way, ladies and gentlemen, the racer's way. So great communication from the drivers there without actually being able to talk to each other, still being able to communicate to each other. All the drivers just want to make sure everybody goes home safe at the end of the night. We see Toolshed here in 11th. We've got Noam still sitting in 12th place currently, but Stangman is definitely on the hunt. So jumping on board with Stangman here. He can see Noam just going into T3 here, so let's just stay. Let's get into the good view. Let's get in that. Yeah, you guys have, this car is so cool. That rear view camera view where your speedometer would normally be here on the Bugatti, that is just absolutely one spectacular cockpit, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is Bugatti, so you would expect nothing but the best, I suppose, right? But the driver's getting a little bit of a treat, getting to drive some luxury here at Red Bull Rig today, so really great stuff. So, back up to the top of the grid, ladies and gentlemen. Man, the racing up front was awesome. Yeah, it's so far it's been really good racing. But as we can see now, the drivers are starting to pace out from each other a little bit. Everybody's kind of settled into their own races here at the moment. So going through the field here, we do have Viper currently sitting in P1. We have Ghost sitting in P2, trying to chase the leader down, and Picteca in P3, so trying to chase Ghost back down, but now having Energia starting to close in on Picteca here as well in P4, and then teammate Marchie Boy just behind in P5 here as well, about second and a half there. So the field's still very, very close. Any one of these drivers were to take a half-second penalty or make a mistake here, easily could lose a couple positions very quickly. Formula One now up into 6th place, so Walk struggling a little bit here, dropping down into P7. Spider Team up the road here now into P8 after having a slow start, showing some pace here. Also currently holding fastest lap on track with a 1:37.944, so that's a pretty fast time on track here, ladies and gentlemen. for GTC-4 division pace. We've got Dub sitting in 9th place, and we've got Calypso in 10th, Toolshed in 11th. He's not far behind these guys either, so Toolshed now starting to close the gap on the pack. Noam in 12th, and Stangman trying to chase him down here in 13th place. So, let's go on board with Viper for a lap around Red Bull Ring, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so are on board with Average Viper, who is our current race leader here on lap 11. And ladies and gentlemen, that onboard has been brought to us by Metropolis. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. So here we are, as we are now still on lap 11, and we're sitting here on our 9th place driver, Devin Calypso. And the reason why we're sitting here is because as we were flipping through the field here while we were watching that beautiful, beautiful Metropolis video, we had to see ourselves with a little battle developing between Devin Calypso and OGR's Toolshed here for P9 and P10. So we decided to jump on board with this battle here, so let us jump on board with Calypso here, and this is kind of what that is a really, really cool camera angle. Pretty cool shot there, so that's kind of what it looks like, I guess, if you were to look out the back window of this Bugatti Veyron. Interesting shot. So, as you can see there, Toolshed just getting that done, so we're going to take a little flick back there, and we're going to let the camera crew on the track take over that absolute beautiful pass by Toolshed there. So Toolshed getting into the slipstream here, gets tight in on Devin Calypso, takes that inside line coming into corner 9, and grabs all that curb and gets the job done coming into corner 10. And bada bing, bada boom, pass done. Thank you very much. And Toolshed moving up into 9th position, ladies and gentlemen. So fantastic stuff. I'm glad we decided to stick with that battle, as we do now see Stangman has gotten ahead of Noam here as well. So Stangman now moving up into 12th place here as well from whatever setback that it was that put him a little bit far back in the pack there today. So let's move it back up to the race leader, who still is currently Average Viper, ladies and gentlemen. And just checking to make sure everything's working good here. Everything's looking fantastic. Alright, so, ooh, and Viper getting a little bit wide there, taking a little bit of extra curb there, getting into the dirt there. As I was just checking on the audios, make sure everything's working properly, and making a mistake there. So that's actually going to allow the second place driver Ghost to pick up a little bit of time, as we see Viper pulling off to the side there to bleed that 0.5 second penalty, and there is the second place driver Ghost 45. So potential battle for P1 coming here. So let's just stick with this for a second, see if anything's going to happen on turn 10 coming up to start finish line. Ghost is in the slipstream here, so we're just going to stick with it a little bit longer, see if a pass gets done here in T1. Ghost opting just to stay behind here, and both drivers are through. So let's go through the field, let's see if anything else is happening really quick here. We have a battle for P3 just behind these guys as well happening, and it looks like this battle is developing immediately, so we're going to stick with it. Picteca now fighting to maintain third place from Icer or Energia. Energia does have the run coming up into T3, as we see Ghost and Viper there almost side by side into T3 here as well. Picteca going to take the inside line. Is he going to get the better run here now is the question, as these cars are drag racing coming into T4. And Picteca is not quite going to get it done, so Energia does move in front of Picteca for P3. So great job by Energia there to get ahead of Picteca, and Picteca is looking very, very strong so far here tonight. You see him really grabbing that inside line there, trying to get back onto the back end of Energia. So a little bit of position changing in the front of the pack. We have Walk Motorsports starting to close back up on Juan here as well. So let's stick with this momentarily. I am watching what's going on here. We still have a battle for P1 and P2, and this battle for P3 and P4 isn't over either, but we also have battles happening all over the racetrack, so we're just trying to not miss anything. It's so hard when there's so much going on at once. We have Spider Team also catching up to the back end of this little battle that's developing here as well. Toolshed now trying to catch up to the back of this pack. He's a little bit further behind. I would say he's probably about 5 or 6 seconds at this point at the moment. Calypso very close in tow. Dubs dropping down to 11th here. We have Stangman up in 12th and Noam in 13th. So back to P1. Still have Viper in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Ghost is still sitting behind him here. So let's stick with this for a couple of corners and we'll move into the next battle. So we are coming into T3 here. Some people call it T or turn 2. It is technically turn 3 here on Red Bull Ring. It is a very, very tight, sharp right-hand corner. And I'm not sure if Ghost is really willing to be battling with Viper here at the moment. I mean, Ghost is sitting very, very close in proximity with Viper. And Ghost has been given a couple of opportunities early on here to go ahead and put that nose inside and try and make a move. But he just kind of seems to be opting to sit behind at the moment. Not sure if the pace is just that similar and he can't get by, or if he's maybe just sitting behind Viper and using that big fat rear end of that Bugatti to save a little bit of fuel and tire here for a few laps. So we'll keep our eyes on P1 and 2. Let's get through the field. So Picteca has gotten back into P3, and Energia down into P4 now with Marchie Boy on the back end of him. So Energia, I'm not sure what happened there, making a mistake of some form obviously here, and losing P3 back to Picteca, but now in jeopardy of losing P4 to his teammate Marchie Boy, who is on the outside, and Energia opting just to back out and pull in behind Marchie Boy. So a position change between the Icer drivers here. So Marchie Boy now moving up into 4th place, and Energia moving down into 5th place. Marchie Boy probably has a little bit better pace right now, so it only makes sense to put the faster guy out front and have the guy maybe that's off right now just tuck in behind and get that slipstream and get that tow. But is Energia gonna? No, he is gonna tuck back in behind here and just sit behind his teammate Marchie Boy. Marchie Boy is now marching towards Picteca for P3. So lots happening here on track right now. We have Formula One sitting in 6th place with Spider Team now chasing him down. I'm not sure what happened to Walk there. Walk must have made him a little bit of a mistake, as he's lost a little bit of time to both these drivers. So Spider Team benefiting again, now up into P7, ladies and gentlemen. And earlier in the chat there on GT Champions YouTube stating that his wheel disconnected at the beginning of the race and it was started 20 seconds behind the field. So looking very good here today. Toolshed here as well, starting to look very racy here as well. You can see those times starting to come down, very, very consistent as well. And in these longer races, 9 times out of 10, consistency is going to pay off better than one fast lap here and one fast lap there. So it'd be interesting to see how toolshed prevails as the race progresses here. We have lots of race left, ladies and gentlemen. We are only 25 minutes into this race so far tonight. Devin Clipsel sitting in 10th place. We've got Dubs in 11th, Stangman in 12th, and Noam in 13th. But we do need to get back up where we know the battles are happening on track. And we can see on the radar there in the top right-hand side of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, P1 and P2 have really opened up a gap on P2, 3, 4, and P5. So I think that there might be a little bit of strategy coming from P2 driver Ghost here right now. And again, as you can see, he opting not even to pull into the slipstream there, just opting to stay behind Viper. And that was really close, ladies and gentlemen. These two drivers are driving nose to tail now for about the last 3.5 laps here. And doesn't look like they're too inclined to battle. It looks like they're pretty comfortable just driving front and one in front of another here. We see Viper semi-defending here. Ghost just holding the line and getting a really good run out of the corner. They're right back on the back of Viper there. So just opting to chill out back there, put a little pressure on the driver, maybe see if he just makes a mistake. Maybe hoping he wears his tires out and can save his better. I mean, lots of things that be going through the driver's mind there in P2, but right now it does look like that Ghost is using Viper to pull away from the rest of the field to get a big gap here. So P3 is now Marshy Boy as he's gotten around Picteca, and now Picteca is under attack by Energia here, so he is just going to get that done. Let's back that up so we can see that. It looks like a little bit of contact there between the two drivers coming up the straight here, coming into the corner. And then Energia just looking like he has a better run coming in, and just brakes a little bit later than Picteca and gets that better run through the corner there. So Energia now moving up into P5 with P4, Formula 1 in P5 there. What is going on? Picteca in P4, Formula 1 in P5. I am confused. Spider Team now up into P6. So Spider Team's gotten around Energia as well. So a couple of these drivers making some mistakes here about a quarter of the way through the race and dropping a couple of spots. And I did say that earlier in the broadcast that the field is still close enough to where if you make a mistake, you could definitely lose some positions pretty quickly here on the track. And we can start seeing all the drivers are really starting to close up on each other here now again as the first half of the race is progressing. So Dubs here in 11th, Stangman in 12th place, now trying to chase Dubs down. He's got a little bit of work to do there, but definitely on the move. Noam here struggling a little bit today in 13th place. Noam is a very new driver to the game, the sport, and the series. So again, on track. Ooh, Viper making a big mistake in a T3, and Ghost is going to get the move done on the inside, and Viper just immediately darts over to get into the slipstream of Ghost. So position change there for P1 with a mistake from Viper. So some patience paying off for Ghost, but now Ghost is in a position where he has to either choose to defend P1 or just drive his line, and if Viper takes it, he takes it. So let's see what happens here coming into the next 2 or 3 corners, see if there's a response here from Average Viper. And Ghost is currently sitting 4th overall in the standings, so Ghost is definitely looking for a good solid finish here today. And Viper's going to go inside there. No, Ghost is going to shut the door on Viper there, so Ghost is opting to defend that position now that he has it. So great job by these two drivers. They've been battling now for almost 6 laps, nose to tail, these two drivers. Pushing, battling. Nonetheless, these guys have been within half a second of each other for 6 laps now, so Ghost capitalizing on a bit of a mistake from Viper there, and just getting a little bit ahead here, but Viper is going to have the slipstream here, so Viper is going to pull back in on the back end of Ghost before turn 1. So does Viper opt to make a move, or is he just going to sit behind? Ooh, Ghost goes a little bit wide in the T1 there. That's going to give Viper a run here, so we are going to stick with this. We do have some mid-pack battling going on. We're going to get into that as soon as we get through turn 3s and 4 here. See if Viper does respond as, ooh, Ghost went to go close the door, but Viper already had a nose in there. So Viper moving back inside of Ghost, and Ghost losing P1 back to Viper there. So Viper making a very quick decision there and opting to get inside of Ghost before he had a chance to close the door there, and gaining the position because of that quick decision. Really great racing by these two guys up front for P1 and P2. A little bit of a glitch there. I'm not sure from which driver that was, but... and again, Ghost looking like he's just opting to sit behind Viper here. So, great battle for P1 and P2. Let's get back to the mid-pack here, ladies and gentlemen. As Marchie Boy is now starting to pull a gap away from Spider Team in 4th place, apparently. Spider Team now up into P4, ladies and gentlemen. Spider Team coming all the way from the back of the pack here, too, as well at the beginning of the race. So, he's looking very, very strong tonight as well. And if you look at those lap times on the right-hand side there, he is by far on the very quicker side of the pace here. Very early on in the race in the division here in Red Bull Ring for round 7 tonight. So Spider Team's looking very good, and chasing down Marchie Boy now for P3. Formula One just behind him here in P5. So Formula One looking very good here today as well, ladies and gentlemen. And Picteca now in P6. We see Walk going really, really wide there, coming out of corner 9, and most certainly probably going to pick up a penalty for that, which he is supposed to bleed, and he does not bleed before that start-finish line, so we'll definitely have to leave that up to the officiating after the race here, as the drivers are required to bleed these penalties before the start-finish line. There is a very special circumstance. We see him we see the driver now bleeding the penalty after turn 1. Now, I was just about to explain that to you guys. So, before the race started this week, there was some concern within all of the divisions about Red Bull Ring and its penalty nature. Now, Red Bull Ring is infamous for penalties, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you can just look at the track edge and they give you a 0.5-second penalty for it. As we see a battle developing here between Ghost and Picteca here again. So, Picteca and Ghost again, nose to tail here, coming through the winding corners here, the S's. Ghost is right all over Viper's business here. I don't know... Oh, Ghost's going to go inside! And I'm not sure what happened there. Ghost kind of looked like he slowed down there. I didn't look like there was... Let's go take a look at that one more time, guys. Maybe there was contact there. We just didn't get a very good look from the camera's angle there. There might have been a little bit of contact there between Ghost and Viper going through the corners there. And Ghost let off the throttle immediately there to let Viper go back through to retain P1. So I think that was completely unincidental contact there, as Viper just went a little wide into the corner, and Ghost was just trying to hold the line there, and it looks like he just tapped him in the front end of the car there. So respect again shown by all the race cars, drivers here on track amongst each other. You know, he tapped him, didn't want to take the position, gives the position back, and race on. So great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Marchie Boy in 4th, Spider Team chasing him down, sitting in 4th. Sorry, Marchie Boy in 3rd place, my bad, guys and gals. And Spider Team is probably within just a little over a second here. So let's stick with this as we're coming into turn 1. And we are within 10 minutes of the pit window here now at this point. You can see Spider Team's on another purple sector here, ladies and gentlemen. So running currently running a fastest lap at the moment here as well. And still holding fastest lap on track, as you can see that purple lap right at the bottom there, number 11, 137.924. That means he is still currently holding the fastest lap on track. And looking very quick, as you can see, he's really closing up on Marchie Boy here through the middle sector of Red Bull Ring here. So let's see if he can catch right on Marchie Boy here, coming around the S's, coming into the corner 9 and 10, and see if he can make a move going into T1 after the long straightaway at the start and finish line here. Yeah, that looks great. The engine in the rearview mirror looks fantastic. I agree, Spider. So Spider is definitely in the slipstream range, ladies and gentlemen. He is definitely in range to make a move by the end of the start-finish line here. So it's really going to come down to these final couple corners here, which one of these two drivers is going to get the better run. And at the moment, Spider Team's looking like he's got the better line coming out of corner 10. And absolutely does. He has actually a really good run on Marchie Boy here. So Spider Team is going to go inside on Marchie Boy here. Is he going to get this move done as they're coming into corner 1? He is ahead coming into corner 1. He should have no problem grabbing that apex. Cutting that a little bit short there. And grabbing that position from Marchie Boy to take 3rd place. So great job by Spider Team. Now sitting on the podium. Boy, oh boy, those two drivers up front better look out for this boy today, because he is making some time. Woo! Spider Team's cruising today, ladies and gentlemen. So Marchie Boy losing position now, down into P4, back on the chase to try and get P3 back from Spider Team here. We have Formula One still sitting very solid in 5th place here, with Toolshed now up into P6 as well. Chaser starting to try and chase Juan down. So our top 4 guys in the standings right now, very close in points, all in the top 6 at the moment. So things are developing very interestingly here. We have Picteca now down into P7 here. We have Motorsports in 8th place, with Energia now starting to close him back up. And he is looking very racy tonight, ladies and gentlemen. When you see the cars wiggling back and forth like that, that means the driver's really feeling it, man. He's got the wheel moving side to side. He's ready for the next corner. He's ready for the next corner. They're ready for the next corner. So Energia looking like he is starting to look quite racy here. So he, I think, is going to be a driver to start looking out for here. Just judging by what I'm seeing out of that car, I'm not sure if he's a controller driver or a steering wheel driver, but that sure looks like some steering wheel driving right there, ladies and gentlemen. I know the feeling when you're in the groove. You could just, everything starts to go with in one motion. You start to become the car, you know, and that's what it looks like from Energia right now. And Devin Clipsel just behind them as well. So Dubs here back down into 11th place, starting off really strong. He's still having a good race here. He's currently sitting 11th. Stangman in 12th. Not too far behind Dubs now. Starting to pull Dubs in a little bit. And Noam losing the corner there a little bit, getting into the sand, making some sand castles, back on track and on the road again. No big deal. It happens to the best of us. So lap 22, ladies and gentlemen. Our current race leader is Average Viper, and we're about 5 minutes away from pit window here. So let's drop the banner. There you guys go. So, Viper opting to start on the medium tire here. And tires are about 30-35% worn. It's not looking too bad, but not probably starting to feel them front tires in that Bugatti at this point in the race here now. And a little under a quarter tank of fuel here for Viper. And then we've got Ghost and P2 behind him. Tire wear is just slightly better, not a ton, but a little bit, and definitely more fuel. So all those laps sitting behind Average Viper, clearly helping a little bit there, as he does have just a little bit better tire and definitely more fuel than Viper. We have Marchie Boy, who opted to start on the racing softs, so that's interesting. Softs look really, really fantastic, however, for soft tires on 22 laps in. Fuel, however, not looking the greatest, so probably going to see him coming in within the earlier half of pit window, I would guess. Moving back to field, we have Spider Team, who opted to start on the racing medium tires. His looking a little bit better than Ghost tires, but obviously a little low on fuel due to the fact that he was a little further back, so he's probably had to push a little bit extra. So you are going to burn fuel trying to chase those drivers down. And Marchie Boy has actually gotten 3rd place back from Spider Team, so not sure if it was a penalty or a mistake from Spider Team there, but losing P3, so back on the hunt for P3 from Marchie Boy again. Moving back into 5th place, we have Formula One, who also opted to start in the mediums. They're looking quite good, and he has plenty of fuel in that car as well by the looks of it. Toolshed in 6th place, opting on those medium tires as well. His tires looking really good. Just a little bit more worn than a couple drivers in front of him. Fuel's just a little bit less, but again, Toolshed has been coming from the back of the pack, so he has been pushing just a little bit more, which means he's burning just a little bit more fuel than some of these drivers, but looking very good and very solid here. He's put himself in a great position here. Coming into the midway point of the race, we have Walk Motorsports, who's also started on the soft tires, so we did see Walk start in 3rd place. Unfortunately, that strategy's not working for him, and getting fairly low on fuel here, so we'll have to see how that works out for Walk moving forward. We have Picteca here also, who started on the soft tire there at the beginning of the race, battling pretty hard there and wearing those tires out, and his fuel situation is getting a little bit empty there as well. We have Energia behind Picteca there. He's just opting to start on the mediums. They're getting a little bit worn. You know, he's probably starting to feel them. Fuel's looking pretty good. We got Devin Calypso behind, also opting on the medium tire. Ooh, Energia going really, really wide there. Like really, really wide there. I'm for sure you're going to be thinking there's going to be a massive penalty given there. Not sure how Energia didn't get a penalty there, but alright, so back to Energia's teammate Calypso here, also on the medium tire, but he is starting to look a little low on fuel himself. We have Dubs, who started on the medium tire. Tires look great. Fuel getting a little bit low. Stangman, again, his tires look amazing. And his tank's starting to look a little low. And Noam also opting on the medium tire, but we see him struggling with some damage there as well. But fuel looking pretty good. So, with that being said, pit window will be open in about 45 seconds. So, I believe by the time Viper and Ghost get around, that pit window will not be open for these two drivers yet. So these drivers will for sure have to go around one more time. And both drivers obviously have the fuel to do so, so no issue there. So, Average Viper have been doing a really great job early on in the race. We're on lap 24 here. We're almost midway through the race here at this point. And Viper looking very, very strong in the race lead, but Ghost is not letting him get away. Ghost is just not letting him go anywhere. So P1 and P2, anyone's game who's going to take this one yet here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, pit window's coming up, so we'll wait for all the pit stops to go through. We'll wait for all that stuff to sort itself out, and we will see where all the drivers end up at the end of all that. And go for another last great half of racing. So we have Marchie Boy now currently sitting here in third place. We also have Spider Team still chasing him down in fourth, as we do now see our first drivers dipping into the pits, as we have Walk Motorsport and Devin Calypso both coming into the pits here. So we are going to try and catch as many of these drivers' pit stops as we can, because again, it's a great chance to really get a look at these liveries. And of course, big shout out to the racing crews that are changing the tires, doing the repairs on these, getting the cars ready for these drivers. These guys do all the work behind the scenes while the drivers race, get all the glory and love. So we see Walk there coming in with 2% fuel, and then we've got Calypso coming in behind him as well there, coming with 2% fuel, and both drivers on different tire compounds. So Calypso going on the soft tire, and Motorsport going to be going onto the medium tire here. So, going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And Walk coming out with a full tank of fuel. We're going to jump in. Dubs just gets around, and Stangman both get around Calypso as he's coming out of the pits there. So Calypso losing a couple spots currently, but he will get those back, because obviously those drivers still have to pit. And we have an interesting little bit of a development there. We actually have P1 and P2 catching up to our 13th place driver, Noam here. So, interesting to see that both these drivers opting not to pit there and deal with the slower car there. So, Ghost pulling up, opting to go in behind Viper. Ghosting there a little bit, so not sure if he had a penalty there. We can see him ghosting a little bit there again, maybe having a bit of a technical issue there, but both getting around Noam fairly easily there. And I mean, these two drivers are just not letting each other go here. These two drivers are absolutely having a fantastic race amongst the two of them. And we just seen Viper making a big mistake there. Viper going really wide coming out of turn, technically 5, I guess. That technically counts as a corner, so we are in T5 here. I can't remember the name of this corner, but, as we got Viper just not quite making the corner, maybe late on the brakes, getting a little bit wide going into the sand there, so giving Ghost the position there. So P1 going to Ghost, with Noam now in between Ghost and Average Viper again. So Viper now has to get back around Noam in order to get caught back up to Ghost, but Viper is going to be battling dirty tires here for a couple turns as well. So Ghost again just staying patient behind the P1 position there, and getting a free pass into P1 there, just again based off a little mistake. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I've said it before in the broadcast, one mistake from these drivers and it can absolutely change everything for these drivers. A couple quick position losses just like that. So and Viper just saying, no, you know what? I'm going into pit lane, man. So, our second place driver now opting to come into pit lane here with, he only has 3% fuel left himself. So, probably not able to make another lap. So, we'll stick in pit lane here with our, with Average Viper. As we see Spider Team also now coming into pit lane here with 0% fuel. So, he's coasting into pit lane here. He has no choice but to come in, ladies and gentlemen. So a nice beautiful shot there for Team High Pre-Car, average Viper, ladies and gentlemen, as he's getting some tire and some fuel. Jump over to Spider Team here as he's pulling into his pit stall here. Great looking car, ladies and gentlemen. And his team looking very, very sharp out there with those pressed, very colorful racing suits. So let's see what happens here as Viper and Spider. So Viper's out, Viper opting to take a full tank of fuel. And where does Viper come out? So Viper looks like he comes out in P5. Where's Spider Team? So Spider Team's now also coming out. He had also opted to take a full tank of fuel here. But is he going to come out ahead of or behind Marchy Boy as he comes out of pit lane? Marchy Boy is just going to have the run on Spider Team. So Spider Team does come back out behind Marchy Boy. We see Walk there with a penalty picked up from turn 10. So he will have to bleed that penalty off here after turn 1. So we'll go through that after our pit stops are done, ladies and gentlemen. I was starting to explain that to you guys a little bit earlier on and got distracted by everything that was happening on track. So we'll go over the new penalty thing that was happening here for this particular race just because of the nature of the racetrack. So we do see Dubs now pulling into the pits as well. He's coming in with 2% fuel there. He's already refueling. And we see the race leader now coming into pit lane as well. And we also see Toolshed coming into pit lane. So our race leader coming in, getting his tires. He came in with 12% fuel. So he had quite a bit of fuel. We got Toolshed pulling in here as well. His team is very, very anxiously waiting for his arrival. As you can see there, the tire changer guy ready to just rip those tires off. Lugs off, ladies and gentlemen. Tires on. And car down. Let's fuel that bad boy up. So let's get on to Juan, who's just now pulling into his pit stall here as well. Great shot of deliveries here in pit lane. Great looking shot to all the crews out there. And both these drivers about to take off out of pit lane here. So we still have a couple of drivers who have yet to pit. And we will put the banner back up once all our pit... Ooh, Ghost got a little bit of wide turn 3 there. But Ghost looking like he has come out in P1. But he did not take a full tank of fuel. So, is that going to bite him? He deciding to take a little less fuel than the rest of the drivers. Maybe because he had a fair amount of fuel left. He figures that he's okay on this soft tire stint. But... dangerous game when fuel is that close in a race, so opting to short fuel that car a little bit to try and get out ahead, and he was just able to come out ahead of Viper here as we see Viper and Energia in P2 and P3. Now Energia has yet to pit, so Energia will give up P3 here probably the next lap or two. We have Spider Team who has pit, who's come now in 4th place. Marchy Boy just behind in 5th, who has pit. Toolshed has also pit in currently sitting 6th. Formula 1, who we just seen in the pits now, currently sitting in 7th. We know Motorsports is also pit, currently sitting in 8th place. Devin Calypso is just pit as well, now in 9th. Picteca pit very early on in the pit window, so he is on his way. Stagman just coming out of the pits. Dubs coming out. Looking like our last two drivers that need to pit here are now in pit lane. So Noam here, ladies and gentlemen, getting a look on that car. Oh, and we missed. Oh, he is still in. All right, and Energia. Try to get everybody's car in here this week. And Energia on 1% fuel. So looking like Ghost is the winner of the fuel saving award for the first half of the fuel stint, and ultimately getting dividends from it here, currently sitting in P1. So we still have lots of race left, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to stick with Energia until he comes out of pit lane here. We're going to fire that absolutely beautiful banner back up on the screen here for the last, until about the last 5 minutes of the race. We're going to throw up a big shout out to High Pre Graphics, ladies and gentlemen, again, for all the graphics you see here on all the broadcasts through all the divisions, and everything you see as far as media post goes through GT Champions. Everything is done by High Pre Graphics, and they do some really great work, ladies and gentlemen. I swear by the gentleman myself, as I use High Pre as well for my graphics as well, and he's just absolutely does amazing work. So go check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Massive shout out to High Pre, and a huge shout out to our main sponsor, Detailing Group, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't said a whole lot about our sponsors here yet this evening, so massive shout out to Detailing Group, the main sponsor here at GT Champions. They're the big kahunas, and you can find them on their website at www.detailinggroup.com. And of course, all our other very notable mentions and proud partners and sponsors: Metropolis at www.metropolis.com, Hypre, which we just had the graphic up on the screen for you guys there, and of course Pride of the Dragon, which you can find more out about as well at www.prideofthedragon.com. And that's something that one of our commentator broadcasters, GTC-4 Tatiana, puts together, and it's a really great event. So if you guys want to learn more, you're a car enthusiast, go check it out. It's definitely worth checking out. They do some really cool stuff, ladies and gentlemen, and definitely make sure to go stop by all the sponsors, see what they have to offer. You never know, they might have something that actually suits your needs. Check them out and say hi to them all. Tell them thank you. We appreciate all the support, and this is also presented by RWB Racing, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of support here at GT Champions, right from the sponsors right all the way down to the administration staff and everybody involved behind the scenes. They put on a really great series, and we got 4 fantastic divisions here this year, as we see Viper making a little bit of a mistake there again in P2, coming around that same corner, just getting a little bit wide, picking up some sand and picking up a half-second penalty. So that is definitely not going to help Viper's cause for the chase to P1 here, as Ghost is starting to march up the road a little bit here on those fresh soft tires. Yeah, we can see him starting to dip down into the 137s there. So Ghost is starting to kick up the pace a little bit here, trying to pick up a gap there. And Viper can still see Ghost, so I mean the gap isn't that big, but it's big enough at the moment. We see Spider Team here up at P3. He could just see Viper going around T1 as he's coming around T10 there, so you can see it. You're close enough to pass it eventually, so it gives you that extra little bit of motivation to push, and hopefully you can catch that other driver up ahead of you. And then we have Marchie Boy sitting in 4th place, and he has Toolshed all up in his business, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get on board with Toolshed as he is chasing down Marchie Boy here. And Toolshed has been showing some incredible pace, and currently sitting with the fastest lap on track right now, the 137.148 as well. So Toolshed's looking very racy here in this last half of the race as well, as they are coming up to a lap traffic here as well. So getting the move done on the outside of corner 1, and we are going to take a look at that again from, of course, the cameraman on track here. That was a really great move. Sorry, on the outside of T3 here. Not an easy pass to get down on the outside, but doing it very well there. And Toolshed moving now into 4th place on the hunt for Spider Team, who he is chasing down in the standings from 3rd to 1st place there. So Marchie Boy now in 5th. We've got Formula One in 6th. We've got Calypso sitting in 7th. We've got Walk Motorsports currently sitting in 8th. We've got Energia battling with Picteca here for 9th and 10th. So let's stick with this here for a minute as we have a nice juicy battle. Energia on the inside, Picteca on the outside. And Energia gets a little bit loose coming out of the corner there. Picteca going to be able to get a little bit of steam on him here. So get into that slipstream. We're going to stick with this battle just for a moment. See if Picteca's going to try and make a move on Energia here coming into the next couple corners. And I don't think Picteca's quite close enough at the moment. So we are going to take an opportunity here as the drivers are somewhat spread out for the time being. We see Toolshed coming up on lap traffic there. So let's just stick with our leader here for a second. Let's bring up the starting grid from the race. That's the wrong one. That's the one I'm looking for. Alright, so we're just going to bring that in comparison with where the drivers are sitting on track. So this is how the race started today, ladies and gentlemen. So P1 was Ghost 45, and currently Ghost 45 is sitting in P1 here on lap 32 of the race. So we're just a little over halfway. Picteca was starting on second, so Picteca has dropped down to a 10th place here, so dropping 8 spots so far from his starting position. Benjo opted out of the race, so Walk Motorsport started in 3rd place, currently just sitting ahead of Picteca in 9th, so he was struggling a little bit here today. Noam is in 5th, currently sitting in 13th position, so he's struggling a little bit here today as well. We had Marchie Boy start in 6th place, and currently Marchie Boy is sitting in 5th place, so Marchie Boy is up a position from his starting position right now, having a great race. Energia started in 6th place and is now currently sitting in 8th, so only losing a couple positions there as well. Still looking very strong. Calypso starting in 7th, and Calypso sitting currently in 7th, so currently sitting in his starting position. And then Stangman opted to go to the back of the pack, and currently sitting in 11th, so that put Toolshed up into P8 position, and Toolshed's currently sitting in, I believe, P4, which is correct. And then we had Formula One, who started in P11. Formula One is sitting in P6. And Average Viper started in P12, currently sitting P2 right now in the race. Spider Team started what would have been 12th because of the couple drivers in the back. He is now currently sitting in 3rd place, just behind Viper. Dub starting in 14th position and currently sitting in, I believe it is 12th place. Yes, that is correct. So, in relation to the starting grid, that is where our drivers are on track, as we do see Ghost on Dubs right now, and Dubs actually making a little bit of a mistake there, so opting just to let Ghost go by there. So great job by Dubs there to just get out of the way and let the leader go by there. So let us remove that out of your guys' sight lines. And we're just going to throw a ton of information at you while we're sitting with the race leader. So this is our current point standings coming into round 7, ladies and gentlemen. So this is after 6 rounds. So Spider Team, as you can see, currently in the lead with 101 points over Average Viper, sitting there with 86. Toolshed currently sitting in 3rd place with 75 points. Ghost sitting in 4th place with 66 points. We have Calypso sitting in 5th with 57. Formula One just behind him with 56. Marchie Boy just behind Juan with 54 points. Stangman right there too with 48. Motorsports with 46. And Astro Pancake rounding out our top 10, who's not in the race today, with 34 points. So the big thing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is those top 5 to 6 guys, 7 guys even, are only within a good race and a bad race apart from leapfrogging each other. So currently right now, Ghost looking to gain some very needed points on the top 3 drivers ahead of him if the race were to finish exactly the way it is right now. And then moving down, Viper would be gaining some needed points on Spider Team, who he's trying to chase for the division lead. And then Spider Team sitting here in 3rd, trying to get more points on Toolshed, and Ghost in 4th, and trying to catch up to Viper there, not to give him those extra points. And then you've got Toolshed here in 4th place, who's currently sitting in 3rd, trying to chase down those 3 drivers, not to give up any points to any of those 3 drivers. So our top 4 drivers in the race are our top 4 drivers in the standings right now. So every single position absolutely matters for these top 4 guys here today right now. And then of course we have our mid-pack drivers who are not out of this either. Marchie Boy currently sitting in 5th, just ahead of Formula One in the race, and just behind Formula One in the points. So that could change things up a little bit as well. But Formula One is ahead of Devin Calypso, who's not having the best race today. So, yeah, these standings are absolutely 100% going to massively shift here. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is 100% the final round before the drop rounds factor into the races. So, if you guys are not aware of what's happening with that, so the drivers run their first 7 races, and there is a mandatory drop round. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that the series organizers will take every driver's worst finish out of the first 7 races, whether it be a disconnect or a race that a driver couldn't make. If a driver made all the races, then they're going to take their worst finishing position, and that round's going to get scrubbed. It's going to get dropped. It didn't count. It didn't happen. Forget about it. It's not in your mind anymore. Those points are then going to be readjusted. So the new set of standings moving forward when we start round 8, coming up on Saturday, will be factored in with the drop round factored in. So race 8, race 9, and race 10, ladies and gentlemen, will be the race to the Cup. And right now, Spider Team is looking like he's got a very good handle on it. So absolutely still needing to keep pushing here to capitalize on as many points as he can. Now, for some of these drivers, a drop round could help some of these drivers, and a drop round could actually hurt some of these drivers, and a drop round might not even affect some of these drivers. So, you know, I'm not sure what the drivers are thinking about here today in round 7, but I can tell you one thing. Ghost 45 right now is only thinking about a win here. As you can see him pushing. 137, 37, 38, 37, 38, 37, 37. He is flying right now. So he does not want these guys to catch him. We got Viper here. He's got some good pace too, but just slightly off of the leader's pace currently. And we can see Spider Team just off. You jump on board with Spider Team here. I mean, he can see Viper just going up to T3 here, and going around the corner right there. And now he's out of sight again. So Spider Team is starting to close in on Average Viper. And then we move to Toolshed here, sitting in 4th place, who in reality isn't that far away from Spider Team. So these drivers are really starting to tighten up. We might see some battles here coming a little deeper into the race. We are approximately 1 hour into the race. We still have 30 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. So Marchie Boy is currently sitting in 5th place, looking very, very good. He's been looking good all series long. Formula One sitting in 6th. He's been looking good all series long as well. We have Icer Energia here in P7 as well. Devin Calypso in P8. Picteca now up into P9. So Walk now moving down into P10. Stangman is up into P11 now, so he's found his way around Dubs as well. Dubs dropped down to P12. Doesn't look like he's having a terrible race by any means. And Noah, I'm here in 13th place, ladies and gentlemen. So all the drivers are doing a really good job here on Red Bull Ring. And I mean, Red Bull Ring is really an iconic racetrack, especially on Gran Turismo, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just a really fun racetrack to race on. Everybody knows it pretty well. So it usually makes for some pretty good racing. As we see, Ghost is slowly starting to gain on, I'm not sure which driver this is, Stangman at the moment here. So Stangman is showing some pretty good pace here, though. I mean, like 138, 140, 139, 139, 139. So he's just a little bit slower than the leader. So we should suspect the leader's going to catch him relatively quickly, but you never know. So let's moving through the grid here. Let's see if we can find this little battle. I don't think we have anything brewing quite at the moment right here. I don't see anything really on the radar, as the drivers have kind of spread out since the pit stops. So we'll just have to kind of keep our eyes on the field. So I think what we'll do is we'll do an onboard with our race leader at the end of this lap here, as we see him coming around, coming to turn 9 and 10 here right now. And we'll jump on board with our current race leader, Ghost 45, and we'll do it on board with him, and then we will, yeah, go see if we can find us a battle. Drivers look like they're doing a really good job. These Bugattis are an interesting race car. So Ghost just coming around. I'm failing miserably here. So now we've seen this in some other shots too. You can see Ghost really using all the curbing here on Red Bull Ring, and clearly you could tell that Ghost tested the track limits very, very definitively while he was practicing this week, as every time we catch a shot on Ghost, you can see him really grabbing, again, you see him moving over to the curbing, just absolutely utilizing as much of this racetrack as possible. And I think the biggest reason for that is this car is heavy. Under braking, this car is extremely heavy. It feels like it's floating. So Ghost opting just to literally use every millimeter of track that the track is going to give him without getting a penalty here. And we've seen him pick up a couple of penalties early on in the race, but it looks like for the most part he's kept it pretty clean. So just a difference in, maybe it's just track experience from one driver to the next, but we have seen a couple of drivers really using the curbing, and then we've seen the rest of the drivers just kind of being gingerly around it. Clearly you don't want the penalties, But some of these drivers have clearly weighed risk over reward, and you can see Ghost here is really, really using all the track again over on that curb. He's gonna, yep, you gotta cut that curb short. He's gonna move over. He's gonna take as much of that curb as they're gonna allow. Cut that apex, and again over to the curb here. He didn't actually get that great of an exit there, so. But yeah, again, and we'll just do it one more time on camera view here coming into T1. You're going to see him really get out there, like almost tires over the white line out there. But it really gives you a good line through T1, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see that he gets a really, really good exit out of T1 there. Very short braking line that way and just cruising around the corners. So let's watch our second place driver here as he makes a couple of his corners here. Let's jump on board with Viper here and let's just see the difference in some of the drivers' styles here as they're coming around these corners. You can see Viper's taking a little bit of curbing here, but not quite to the extent that Ghost is. But again, he's opting on a little bit of a different braking point and a little bit of a different turn-in point as well. So yeah, just some different driving styles for some of these drivers. We'll stick with Viper here as we're coming into T4. Opting not to take any curb there. Same thing here, just opting to take it nice and simple, but you can really hear that tire squeal too. Jumping on board with Spider Team here. Trying to get to the good view, ladies and gentlemen. So Spider Team here too, not really opting to use a whole lot of the curbing on the racetrack. Now, with that being said, the curbing will eventually, you know, put extra wear on your tires and that too as well. But Spider Team just on a really smooth entry and exit point on each corner here. You can see him grabbing just a little bit of curb just to maximize that exit speed there. He's right on that white line here to really maximize corner 9 and 10 here. You see him take a little bit of curb there. You will see a lot of the drivers take the curb coming through corner 9 and 10 because it just sets the corner up better. You can see him taking a good exit there from Spider. Much better exit than we've seen from Ghost there just a little earlier on there. And I believe Toolshed's another one of these drivers that's really utilizing the curbing here at Red Bull Ring as well. Again, some drivers just opting to utilize the track limits a little bit more than others. You can see him. He takes a pretty wide berth into that curb there as well to get that good run through T1 there. So Toolshed is trying to close Spider Team down. Spider Team still is definitely in visual range here. We have Marchie Boy still sitting in 5th place, looking really, really good. Formula One in 6th place. He's looking very solid. You can see Marchie Boy just going around T1 there. Energia up here in 7th place, looking very strong for a second race of the season as well. Devin Calypso having a good comeback here now, up in 8th place. Walk Motorsport up in 9th. Pektekid back down into P10. Stangman in P11 as we see Ghost looking like he just gets around him there. Stangman's just kind of hanging with the leader there. Dubs in P12 and Noam in 13th position. So we do have about 24 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. So we got one more little thing to bring up that's kind of fun for you guys. Since the guys are so spaced out here, we'll bring in some more fun facts. And we're actually going to make that a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see that it's a little bit better. So what this is showing you guys here is... Oh, wrong button. So this is the top 10 of the highest points holders out of all 4 of the GT Champions divisions, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see here on the diagram on the right side of the screen, you can see Spider Team from GTC-4 sitting in the top of that. I'm just going to move that over so you can see it better. Sorry, you guys. With 101 points. So out of all the divisions right now, Spider Team from GTC4, who we're seeing on track right here, ladies and gentlemen, Spider Team 1, ladies and gentlemen, is currently leading all drivers in the season as far as how many points they've collected throughout the race season so far. So great job to Spider Team 1 in GTC4 showing the boys up top how you do it to start with. Hey-o! And then we've got, as you can see, Ace Rio, who is our current GTC1 division leader, coming into round 7 with 98 points. And then Nux in GTC2, who is the current GTC2 point standing leader, moving into round 7 as well. with 94, and then GTC-1's Distinct Twitchy, who's currently sitting P2 in standings in Division 1, and then you got GTC-4 Viper, 5th overall, currently sitting 2nd overall in GTC-4, and then we have ART Wooly, who is leading GTC-3 with 86, Venom very close behind him with 79, and ATK 037 behind him with 75. So, top of the standings in GTC-3, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, super close, super tight. And then we have third place points getter here, GTC-4 Toolshed, sitting 9th overall with 75 points, and J-Rod, who's sitting 4th overall in GTC-3 with 72 points. So there's a little fun thing for you guys here, just to give you a little bit of perspective on what's going on as a whole, as a series through all 4 divisions. So Division 3 has 4 drivers up on that top 10 right now. So Division 3 is absolutely very tight as far as the standings goes. So that is going to be a fun chase to the championship final round in 3 weeks from now here as well, by the looks of it. So let us go back through our field, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's go give our man Spider Team that big shout out. Our current points leader out of all divisions, ladies and gentlemen. So let's jump on board with Spider Team here. Again, the drivers are really spaced out. You can see Spider Team is starting to close Viper down though, so potential battle for P2 looming here in the future with just over 20 minutes remaining in the race. But we're going to let these guys get around this lap here, and then we're going to jump on board with our current points leader in all divisions, Spider Team 1, as I think he's earned the right to his own on board here today. What do you guys think? I think so. Audio is low. Okay, thanks, Juan. Oh, it is low. It's really low. Yep, 1 second. We'll fix that up for you guys right now. You're going to see a little blip of something for a second. There you go. Hello, how's it going, everybody? Alright, sorry guys. Again, OBS we've been having some issues with OBS lately as far as the audio sources goes. So, we have suffered from that issue again. Thank you, Formula One, for the heads up, brother. Appreciate that. And, we got sound again for you guys. So, we're a little late on the lap here because we're fixing that audio issue, but we are on board with Spider Team 1 here. We'll give them a little more than this lap, obviously, as we've missed the first section of the racetrack here, but he is starting to close up on our second place driver, Average Viper here, and starting to give Viper all kinds of problems here, as a matter of fact. So I'm not sure if Viper's struggling a little bit here. There's a little bit of lag there. And Spider Team just opting to kind of back off there for a second to see what's going to happen here. Looks like everything's okay. Car settled back down there. So Spider Team's just going to get right back up into the slipstream here now. And ideally, again, ladies and gentlemen, to pass, you want to be behind the driver coming out of T10, up to start finish straight, and then bam, make your move going into T1. So let's see if Spider Team sets it up like this. Spider Team kind of looking like he's just chilling behind here at the moment. So let's give him his onboard here. I'm going to shut my audio off. Enjoy the onboard, ladies and gentlemen. So, what a great on-board lap, ladies and gentlemen, with our current all division points leader at 101 points. Spider Team 1, ladies and gentlemen, from RWB Racing. And a nice, beautiful on-board lap with a juicy battle for P2. No better way to show this man's skill than an on-board lap while he's battling for podium position, right? Beautiful time to pick that lap. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Spider Team there. As we did see Viper shut the door on him there as he tried to go outside of Viper in the T3 on that onboard lap, and Viper just 100% shut that door on Spider there, and Spider just real calm, cool, collected, man, and he's like, yeah, all right, you do what you gotta do, man. I'm just gonna always be here, you know, I'm here, just so you know, hey, I'm here. So that's kind of what's going on right now. I mean, so you can also see him with his four-way flashers on there, ladies and gentlemen. No, in the driver's briefing before the race during this race, we discussed turning our four-way flashers on before we're entering pit lane, just because of the nature, again, of Red Bull Ring. As a collective group, the drivers decided that we'd turn the four-way flashers on when we're entering, to signal any drivers behind coming up that we are planning on entering into pit lane. So those drivers know to not go right where we're going to watch right here. Cut too much on the inside curb. As you can see, pit entry is just on the right-hand side there. So that's just to let the drivers know behind that he's entering pit lane, but he clearly just forgot to shut him off, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen a couple drivers with the four-ways on as we've been going through the field here, and a really beautiful pass by Spider Team, 4th position on Viper there for P2. Again, patience, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about patience. So Spider Team was just really patient and just waited till he had the optimal move there. And he had the run on Viper, got ahead of him going into corner 9. And yeah, holding down the position through corner 10 and up the front straightaway. So, race on. Has Viper got an answer for Spider Team now? Is the question. Looking like Spider Team's pulling away just a little bit. So I guess the bigger question, there's 14.5 minutes remaining in the race. Could Spider Team catch Ghost, who's about 9.5 seconds up the road here currently? And Toolshed now coming through T3 here as well. So Toolshed is not that far off of P2 and P3 here with a little bit of time left in the race. So potentially we do have some battles developing here very, very close to the end of the race. We have Formula One trying to chase Marchie Boy down here in P6. We've got Energy, again, doing a great job here in the second race of the season in P7. Walk Motorsports handling his business back there in P8, but Devin Calypso is starting to chase him down here. So, again, we do have some drivers on different tire compounds here in the second stint, so that could factor into some late battles here tonight as well. Picteka in 10th place, Stangman in 11th, now catching Picteka. Dubs here in 12th, and Noam in 13th position. So all drivers still on track here today, ladies and gentlemen, which is fantastic to see. We've been seeing at least a disconnect race here at GTC-4, so really glad to see that we have all drivers still on the racetrack and racing. So we do have Ghost 45. He is coming up on... Who's he coming up on? He is coming up on what looks to be Walk and Devin Calypso. So I'm not sure what happened there. Let's go take a look at that. So we see Ghost coming up on the back of these two. And Devin just opting to stay off the line there. Okay, so Devin was just letting the leader Ghost go through. So great job by Devin there. I wasn't sure what happened there. I thought maybe he made a mistake, but he was just getting off, letting the leader go through. And you see Walk doing the same thing there, opting just to stay on the outside part of the racetrack there, let the race leader go through, and both those drivers back to race on. So really great stuff again. The GTC-4 drivers this season have been doing a really fantastic job at respecting each other on track, racing when it's time to race, and giving up position when it's time to give up position. there's been contact. It hasn't been perfect races, obviously, ladies and gentlemen. It's Division 4. You know, guys are learning still. But, you know, it's not any different from Division 3 or a Division 2 or Division 1 race. Guys rub door handles. They bump into each other from time to time. But we have seen some really fantastic nose-to-tail racing from these GTC-4 drivers this race. Ghost with Viper for a while, Spider with Viper, Viper with Ghost. All three of those drivers have shown some really good skill driving in a line and in dirty air today. So all these drivers are skilled, no matter whether you're in Division 1 all the way to the end of Division 4. Each one of these drivers is a skilled driver, and they show it on track every day, every race day, and we love to watch it, we love to see it, and we definitely love to broadcast it. We love to bring this to you guys, to fans. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for hanging out with us here at GT Champions on a Monday night. I mean, you know, it's Monday's boo, so hey, let's bring you a race. There's something to spice up a Monday. Good old-fashioned race. So, Ghost still sitting in first place. He just went around T3. Where is Spider? So, Spider is just going around the same corner. So, Spider has a plethora of cars in between him and the leader, Ghost, currently, but anything can happen here. Viper still holding down third place. Where's Toolshed now? Is Toolshed gaining on Viper? Yes, it does look like Toolshed is gaining on Viper slightly here, as they weren't in the same camera shot initially. Now they are, so Toolshed is definitely picking up some time. We have Marchie Boy here in 5th place as well, and we will drop that tire banner for you guys here shortly. You guys can take a look at the tire and the fuel situation from all the drivers. Formula 1 sitting currently in 6th, as you can see them just getting around Dubs there. Energia in 7th place, Calypso in 8th, Stangman sitting in 9th, Picteca sitting in 10th place with putting pressure on, no, Spider Team just went around Picteca there. The drivers are getting really mixed up here now near the end of the race. We have Walk, Dubs, and Noam. Back to the race leader here. A little under 10 minutes remaining here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, just another massive shout out to our main sponsor, DG Detailing Group, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you can find more information out about Detailing Group on the website at www.detailinggroup.com. There's also, I believe, links on the GT Champions website at www.gtchampions.com as well. And a shout out to the other proud partners and sponsors, Metropolis, High Pre, and Pride of the Dragon. And just a really, really great group coming together to put on some really, really fantastic series. So, round 7, Red Bull Ring, 10-round series. We are down to the final 3 rounds after tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, everything's going to shake up after tonight. Drop rounds factor in. Standings might shift a little bit. And rounds 8, 9, and 10 are all bets are off, ladies and gentlemen, at what's going to happen. You don't have the you don't have that comfortability of knowing you have a drop round if you have a bad race anymore. A bad race could potentially really damage you in the standings further moving forward past this evening. So lots for these drivers to think. Well, we see Energia making a mistake there, getting into the wall there as well. So where is Energia? Looking like coming out of corner 9 and 10 there, Energia just lost the car there, getting into the wall. So Calypso Stangman just getting around Picteca there for 9th. So Picteca now down to 10th. Stangman grabbing another spot there. Walk currently sitting in 10th. 11th, sorry. Dubs in 12th. And Noam in 13th. But let's get back to the front of the pack. Let's see what's developing here. As we have Ghost just now coming into T3. And Spider Team now coming to T3, but Spider Team now having to navigate that lap traffic here that Ghost went through a little bit earlier. So this could either slow Spider Team down or it could actually help speed him up, grabbing a little bit of slipstream. So be interesting to see how that plays out. We got Viper here still currently sitting in 3rd, but Toolshed's coming. Toolshed is now starting to close the gap up on Average Viper. The car we see up ahead is Average Viper, ladies and gentlemen. So P4 and P3 are only about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds apart from each other currently here. So we'll definitely want to keep our eye on that battle. We have Formula One now in 5th, so Marchie Boy making a mistake somewhere, losing P5 to Formula One, now dropping down to P6. So we do have some position changes late in the race here, so let's just keep flipping through the field. We got 7 minutes remaining. We're going to drop the banner a little bit early for you guys. So here we go with our leader, Ghost, on the soft tires. That front left tire is starting to look very, very worn, but doing really good on fuel by the looks of it with just a little over 7 minutes remaining. So 4 or 5 more laps, ladies and gentlemen. And then we've got our second place driver, Spider Team. Tires looking about the same as the leaders. Fuel looking about the same. But remember, Spider Team took a full tank of fuel when he pit, where Ghost took only about 90% fuel. So Ghost, again, looking like he's been doing some fuel saving here. Average Viper is now on the soft tires, and his soft tires are starting to look very, very used up. He's at about 50% wear on that left front tire, and probably about 45% on the front right. So that is going to start plaguing him a little bit coming towards the end of the race. So let's go to the driver behind, Toolshed. His tires actually don't look a whole lot better. And Viper actually has a little bit more fuel than Toolshed does. So Toolshed is closing in. This is going to be interesting. Formula One, again, tires look a little bit better than the driver's ahead. He's got a ton of fuel. He is definitely good for fuel. Marchie Boy on those mediums. Mediums looks fantastic, but he is getting a little bit low on fuel. We have Energia here on those softs. Softs starting to look a little worn. Lots of fuel. We've got Calypso also on that soft tire. His softs look really good, and fuel's looking good. We have Stangman also on the softs. Tires look great. Fuel's looking a little iffy. Then we've got Picteca here in 10th. Tires looking pretty good. Fuel looking a little iffy. And then we have Walk here in 11th. Tires look fantastic. And fuel a little iffy. Dub's tires looking not too shabby. And fuel's going to be a little close. And we've got Noam here, whose fuel is also very close. Tires looking pretty good. So looking like all the drivers hopefully make it on fuels. Toolshed has made a pass for P3. So let's get with that. Let's see what happened there. So we have Viper behind what looks to be his teammate Picteca coming into the S's here. And both them drivers having a little bit of an incident there, which slowed Viper down, which gave Toolshed the opportunity to get to the run. And Toolshed takes him on the outside coming out of the S's there. So first rule of thumb, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to team racing, do not take out your teammate. So Picteca and Viper having a little bit of a rub together there, and unfortunately for both drivers costing him time, and unfortunately for Viper costing him P3 to Toolshed. So a little bit of a hard lesson to be learned there, I guess, ladies and gentlemen, but it happens. Tires are wearing out. The drivers are fatigued. They've been racing for quite some time here now, and just little mistakes happen. So no harm, no foul. Both drivers still on track, and cruising along. So 4 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Ghost remaining in the lead of the race here, coming around on lap 52. Moving through the field, we have Spider Team 1 still sitting currently second place. Maybe starting to close that gap back up on Ghost a little bit here, potentially. He's in the 138 mid to lows. And Ghost is in the high 138, low 139. So Spider Team is definitely knocking some time off of the leader here. Toolshed is about the same pace as the leader currently. Sitting in third place, we have Viper, whose pace is just a little bit off of that. And then moving back into the field, we've got Formula One here, whose pace is pretty good. We've got Marchie Boy's pace has been a little bit hit and miss, struggling with the tires potentially. We have Energia here in 7th. So Team Icer with cars 6th, 7th, and 8th place here. Devin Calypso there. Stangman in 9th. We have Picteca in 10th. We've got Motorsport in 11th. Dubs in 12th place. And Noam currently sitting in 13th position. Pardon me, I had the hiccups, chat. Oh, I hope they stop. Oh, my apologies. It did it again. Alright, now we got no game audio. There we go. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. So with our race leader, our Argos, I've been trying to monitor that because I know I've been having some issues with the streaming software. I got an update most recently with it, and I feel like the update is wreaking a little bit of havoc on the streaming program. So I apologize again for the loss of the game audio, ladies and gentlemen, but we have caught it. So we are trying to keep an eye on it as we're trying to keep an eye on the end of the race here as well. So, Toolshed not too far ahead of Viper here. We got Formula 1 in 5th, Marchie Boy in 6th, Energy in 7th, Calypso in 8th, Stangman in 9th, Picteca 10, Motorsport in 11th, Dubs in 12th, and Noam in 13th. So we are going to jump on board with the race leader here. He's just come across the start-finish line there, so they are on lap 54, I believe. So you can see the fuel light now coming on in the leader's car here. Hopefully he's got enough fuel. Judging by the amount of time left in the race and where about on track Ghost is, he may actually have to do another lap around the track. Spider Team and Toolshed potentially could be in the same position here. And the rest of the drivers, and potentially Viper. Viper is close enough to potentially get another lap, but from 5th on back, this is their final lap when they come across the start-finish line here. So we've just seen Formula 1 coming, Marchie Boy there, Dubs there, Energia will be coming across shortly. We have Calypso about midway through the track. The drivers are really mixed up amongst each other here. As you can see, the pace is kind of starting to spread the field out, obviously, here at the end of the race, but we may potentially have some battles here. We're just trying to see if we can find any. It doesn't look like it. So is the race leader going to win or have to go again is the question. I don't want to call it yet. He is going to get another lap. So the Spider Team going to cross. Spider Team gets another lap. Toolshed, I believe, is not going to make another lap. So when Toolshed does come across the line here, ladies and gentlemen, I think that will be the race finish for Toolshed. So Toolshed looking like he's good to secure. Viper is right on him, though. So right down to the line. Toolshed for 3rd place. Viper for 4th. And Calypso behind those two drivers coming in P8 behind Stangman in 9th. So, which driver is next closest to the start-finish line here? Trying to find it. Right here, Formula 1. Alright, so Formula 1 going to be coming across here in 5th place. Solid run by Juan. Walk Motorsports coming across, I believe, back in 10th or 11th there, 11th place. We're now with Marchie Boy, as Marchie Boy and Dubs are going to cross the finish line here. So Marchie Boy will cross 6th place here. Dubs will be crossing in 12th. So great job by those two drivers side by side across the finish line. Then we have Energia coming here across as well in 7th, and I believe it's just our race leader and P2. So Ghost 45, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's race winner there in P1, and Spider Team now coming around here Very close behind, our race winner Ghost in P2, flashing those headlights. Absolutely happy with his race there. So, really, really great job by all our drivers, ladies and gentlemen. Now, don't run away. We still have something more for you guys yet. So, our race results, ladies and gentlemen. These are our race results here for the evening. So finishing in first place is Ghost 45, Spider Team finishing in second, Toolshed finishing third, Viper in fourth, Formula One in fifth, Marchie Boy in sixth, Energia finishing seventh, Calypso finishing eighth, Stangman in ninth, Walk Motorsports in 10th place, Picteca coming in 11th, Dubs in 12th, and Noam finishing up in 13th position. But please, don't run away, ladies and gentlemen. We have something a little more for you yet tonight. As promised, we have some driver interviews. So, let us flip over to this beautiful screen we got running right here. Hello, hello. Welcome to the podium interviews, ladies and gentlemen. Now, these are pre-recorded from Saturday, obviously, ladies and gentlemen. So, just bear with me here for one moment, as this will take just a moment to get going properly for you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the GT Champions World Cup Round 7 here at Red Bull Ring. So, our podium finishers today, in third place, OGR Toolshed, who very early on in practice was looking very, very quick and very racy tonight. So, congratulations to Toolshed, and tell us a little bit how your race went.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I quit the start and jumped the start, got a 4-second penalty, so I had to wear that off. And then turn 3, I got into an accident, pitted lap 2, and then fought my way back against all these great drivers until I got to third.
Awesome. Well, it looked like you guys were having a good battle up there as I was watching that live timer like a hawk lap in and lap out, seeing what was going on behind me there as my tires are falling off. So you guys were definitely starting to gain on me. So really great job there. And anybody you want to shout out? Toolshed, of course.
Just won in his final race for the series. Wish him all the best and much love to Juan.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, stick around one. We'll do the same thing we did earlier in the week here too.
Sure.
Our second place finisher leaders, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Spider Team, our current point standings leader, having yet another strong race coming in second place today. So congratulations, Spider. It looked like, again, that patience really paid off for you today. You just remained calm and drove your laps, hit your marks, and bada bing, back up in P2 here again. So congratulations, and talk us through your race.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. I went because I've been plagued with my wheel disconnecting all season. It happens in every race. All practice this week, no disconnect. Got into the race and disconnected just before the race, and right as the race hit start, dead. I had to reset my wheel, and I thought, well, I don't have to worry about a last race to drop. This will be pretty bad. This is a salvage race.
Yeah, that's right. This is round 7, so after this round is officiated by all the stewards and all the divisions, GT staff will then turn around, take every driver's worst round of the first round, 7 rounds, and that'll be a mandatory drop round. So that will shift the standings a little tiny bit. So it'll be interesting to see where we're at come round 8 at Dragon Trail Gardens with the NSX. Should be an interesting race. And chase for the cup starts next week, ladies and gentlemen. So anybody you want to shout out, of course, Spider Team?
No, I'm good, just thanks. It's been a great season.
Awesome. Love to hear it, and congratulations. And you want to take over the interview, I guess, for me on this one?
Sure, I'll do that. So, Ghost, round 6, you came up with a victory. This must be feeling real nice right now.
Definitely. We worked hard this week. We tried to just really find some consistency in our lap times and try to keep the car on track for a change. We took a little bit of time off the stream this week, really just to focus and try and get redialed back in, and a lot of help from community members, drivers within my Discord, of course, help from the Rockefeller Racing team as well to help me kind of find that racecraft, I guess, so to speak. So at the end of the day, it was a really good race. I enjoyed the race. We had some good battles for the first half of the race. especially with Viper, who of course is ahead of me in the standings. So glad to get a little bit ahead of him there on the finish today, and just want to thank, of course, GT Champions for putting on the series, Detailing Group, Metropolis, Pride of the Dragon, and High Priest for being the sponsors of the series, and a huge shout out to Rockefeller Racing for continuing to have faith in me and push me harder, and hopefully some more wins are coming. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. You dominated from the race. You started pole. Congrats, man. You deserved it. Well
done,
done.
mate. Great race.
Cheers, guys.
Queenslander.
So there we go, chat. Appreciate you guys. And Mr. Formula One, unfortunately for you, this is your last race of the season with us here due to personal reasons. And I just want to personally say thank you for being such a great competitor on track and off track, of course, practicing, hanging out with the community in the chats. And I'm gutted for you, brother. I really wish you could finish the season out with us, as you are doing really well in the series here. So.
Yes, thank you. I'm gutted, as of course. I wish I can, if I can exchange a night shift for somebody and come race with you for the remainder of the season, I will, of course. My race today was just set on trying to finish on the the top 5. I think 2 of my objectives were achieved. One was to keep Devlin behind me, and then one was to come before Marchie. So I would jump into 5th, and let's see what brings the reshuffling. And anyhow, I wanted to thank everybody, especially the sponsors, for putting this wonderful series together, and you guys for just making me a better person, a better racer, and I love you all. It's been a great. I'll carry a piece of me, a piece of you with a piece of rubber from all of you with me, man. Thank you very much.
We'll meet
awesome.
again, mate. We'll meet again. You're a great man.
Again. Oh, for sure. That'll happen. So keep me a spot there.
All right, your spot is always going to be
Yeah,
there
no
just in
worries.
case you can make it, and hopefully we see you on track next week. That's all I could say, my guy.
I hope so too, man. I'm just gonna. I doubt it, but if I can, you'll be the first. You guys will be the first ones to know.
That's what we like to hear, brother. That's what we like to hear. All right, cheers. All right, so some really, really great interviews there, as always, from the GTC-4 guys. They always very soft-spoken guys, are well-spoken. They always like to make sure that they're thanking everybody that helps, and we love the interviews, man. The interviews are the best, absolutely best part. So, just to recap, ladies and gentlemen, there's our podium finishers for the race tonight. So, sitting in 3rd place was OGR Toolshed. Second place finish of Spider Team 1, and top of the podium this evening for round 7 being Ghost 45. Great job to those 3 drivers, and again, huge shout out to Formula One for potentially the last race of the season due to a new job. So good luck to you, my friend, if we don't see you again, and we know we'll see you again, but if we don't see you on track in the rest of the series, my friend, good luck and your new adventure, and we love you, my man. And it was an absolute privilege to be on track with you. So, potentially, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten a little something together here. So, these are the standings before the drop round. Alright, so Spider Team currently projected based off of the race results that we just seen. This is just projected, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't official yet. Spider Team would be sitting with 118 points. Viper would still be sitting 2nd. Shed would still be 3rd. Ghost would be a little bit closer in 4th. Formula One, Leapfrogs, Calypso, and Marchie Boy. Stagman moving into 8th. And the rest of the field stays pretty close to the same for the most part. Noam jumps a couple spots due to a couple drivers not being here. Now, that's projected based off of round 7's race results with round 6. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if we factor in the drop rounds unofficially, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are looking at it to be projected as for GTC-4 division. So this is projected after the drop round, unofficially. Spider Team will still hold the lead with Viper in second. Toolshed will still hold third. Ghost is still there in fourth. Juan's still there in fifth. The only thing that really changes a lot is Marchie Boy will swap with Calypso, and that is pretty much it. But the points do get a little bit closer together, obviously. As you can see, projected, ladies and gentlemen, the Spider Team will lose some points, and Viper will lose some points as well. So, the guys that have had really strong race finishes all season long, like I said, may lose a few points, and some may not lose any, and some may gain. So, that's just a potential shakeup. Once the race is officiated and everything's official, of course, GT Champions, so stay tuned to their pages. We'll be posting all the official results through the GT Champions website and subsidiaries, of course. And I would imagine that will be starting to happen here probably within the next couple days, as they're a fairly efficient crew, these guys. So big shout out to the admin staff at GT Champions, of course, the broadcasting staff, and all the Discord series organizers, the sponsors, Detailing Group, Metropolis, Pride of the Dragon, and High Pre. And, it's just fantastic racing. Absolutely great job here by all the drivers of GTC-4 today at Red Bull Ring in Austria. Next week, we are heading over to Dragon Trail Gardens with the Group 3 Honda NSX. Round 8, so the chase to the championship starts officially, ladies and gentlemen. Again, as I said a little bit earlier in the broadcast, there is no drop round to save these drivers. A bad race is a bad race, and you just gotta hope that you can come back from it. So every single position is now matters moving forward for the last 3 rounds of the season. So clear your schedules for the next 3 Mondays, ladies and gentlemen, because we got the chase to the cup in GTC4 coming right at you, right here live on YouTube at GT Champions for the next 3 weeks. Don't miss it, because boy oh boy, these boys are gonna put on a show, and we're going to crown a winner in less than a month, ladies and gentlemen. So, fantastic stuff. Massive shout out to all the drivers. Massive shout out to GT Champions and all the sponsors. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I hope you've had a fantastic viewing experience. I hope the broadcast was beautiful. I hope you enjoyed the racing. The guys, again, put a lot of effort to put on as good a show as they can for the viewers, you guys, the fans. And we'll be back in a week's time, same place. GT Champions here on YouTube, and cannot wait to see you all again. Stay winning, everybody. We'll see you next week.